Yo, what up? We are in the building. We got a special edition of Inside High School Hoops here on All Access Network. Find us on your favorite podcast platform, YouTube. You know where to find us. You know what the deal is. And if you don't, it's not hard. But this guest today, speaking of not hard, I think what he's created with his team and with his vision is really, he's made it look easy, but it's not easy what he's done and what they're continuing to do. And I think they've taken the high school and the recruiting space by storm. I think in their own way, they've taken over and created a space that's unique, that has not been seen in this exact kind of way. And I think that the sky is the limit for the continued success stories that they're going to continue to create out of Southern California. So we have a social media celebrity in his own way in the basketball space, but more importantly, a man that has a mission that is accomplishing his mission and his goal to elevate the game of basketball in his own way and make a mark. And so we have Jules V in the building, SoCal Academy. Let's talk about it. What up, man?
What's going on?
Not too much, man. I appreciate you taking the time and excited to dive in, man. There's a lot of stuff we can talk about. We're going to just kind of get straight to it. SoCal Academy, you created this thing. You had a vision for it. I don't know if you're past where you envisioned to this point, but in a short amount of time, it's really groundbreaking, record-breaking what's been done. It's hard to measure it in terms of a tangible, like, this hasn't been done type of thing, but it feels like nothing we've ever seen before on the prep circuit and on the high school recruiting circuit. So just talk about the vision, how it's come to life, what you feel about how it is right now. I know there's more to come, but just give us a current status update as you look back and think of when you were drawing on your whiteboard or you had those visions and dreams. Like, where does it sit now, and what can you talk about this academy?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like, I'd be lying to you if I told you that I thought we would grow this fast.
Right.
So we definitely have grown faster than I expected. I feel like we've more than overachieved. But the beauty about the whole thing is really no ceiling to it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like, rather we help 30 kids, 40 kids, 50 kids, I think we can continue to increase the amount of guys that we can help. Not just players, from guys on our staff that have aspirations maybe to coach in college, NBA level, get some experience with high level dudes at this level. But it's a lot of different things that can come about, outside of just, kids getting scholarships or getting better about. There's so much different things to it. I definitely think we're growing pretty fast. The reason why I decided to do it, well, first is like my favorite sport is soccer. So
now, who was your
I
team?
follow,
Were you into the World Cup? Did your team? How'd
yeah,
your team do?
yeah. So I mean, I wanted Germany or US to win it,
Right.
just because my dad is German and Hungarian, and then I'm obviously born in America. So, but
Now,
really, my favorite.
is that where the gold and black comes from with SoCal?
Nah.
Okay. Just checking. My fault. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, but really, my favorite team in the World Cup was France, and that's who I thought was going to win it.
Nice.
But my favorite club team is Man U. So I
Nice.
follow, like I said, soccer is my favorite sport. So I follow the path, and I follow guys before they hit, the big league. You know what I'm saying? Kind of just see what the next upcoming prospects are and different things like that.
Right.
But if you look at the method they use for soccer, it's the same method they use for all sports. So now, if you look at basketball, right, that basketball is pretty much, that it's an American sport, right? It's becoming a world sport. When you turn on the NBA, half the league is internationals.
Yep.
And you hear people, you see it on Twitter, right? Like, guys bash, they think it's the coaching, they think it's the the AAU. They say all these different things and try to bash what we got going on here.
Right.
There's a lot of great coaches, right? Like a
No
ton of them.
question.
You know
No
what I'm
question.
saying?
No
Level,
question.
right? And we think it's that, right? Like they're smarter, they're no, their path is different.
No question.
And their path allows them to maximize their development. So by the time they get 18, 19, 20, 21, they're already pros.
Yep.
So when I say that, just to dive into the type of things they do, right? So when our kids are 15, 16, 17, they're playing with their neighborhood friends. They're playing with their buddies from their English class,
Right.
guys that have no chance of playing basketball past high school, which there's
Right.
nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But why would I share the same schedule and be on the court with a guy 3 hours a day or 2 hours a day who has no chance of playing college basketball and doesn't even want to play college basketball? How does
Right.
that make? So if you look at our kids when they're 15, 16, 17, right, you're in a classroom from 8 to 3, right? So now you're already behind,
Right.
right? To get to school, there's so much traffic, there's all these different things. So you start your day at 6:45 or whatever, you sit in 30, 40 minutes of traffic, you sit in the classroom from 8 to 3, then you go to practice with, it could be the best coach in the world,
Right.
but you're practicing for 2 hours with guys who measurements don't translate, athleticism doesn't translate, skill set don't translate, mindset doesn't translate,
Right.
and you don't share anywhere near the same work ethic or drive
Right.
or goals as these guys. Then after practice, you got to run out because the volleyball team got to get in there or whatever, JV, whatever got to get in there, wrestling team. Then you got 2-3 hours of homework. How do you really maximize your development?
Right.
Right. So, of course, guys can still make it to the NBA. We got millions of people who play the sport. So, of course, we're going to have some success stories.
Right.
Now, your competition, let's say a kid in Europe, he's 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. He's playing with pros or potential pros.
Yep.
Everyone he goes to, let's say he goes to Barcelona, to their academy.
Right.
All those guys share the same aspirations and goals as him. They all reach a certain talent level. All those guys in that academy, they think have a chance to eventually play on their top team.
Yep.
So it's just a different thing, right? So I'm like, there has to be a way here where we can figure out to get somewhere close to that where we can maximize our development, right? And have a chance to be able to reach our potential and upside and things like that, right? All our kids get really excited about AAU, right? You can't wait till AAU, right? You get the best bump in AAU because that's where the best players are, right? You playing with the best players and against the best players.
Yep.
Why can't we have that all year? Why do we have to wait till April to get that bump?
Right.
And then we only get it on the weekend for the tournament.
And you don't get to have practice where the true habits can be developed. You're getting to play, and I'm jumping in on you, but you're getting to play and compete against the best, but you're not truly getting to practice in a competitive environment against the best. And you're not truly getting to develop with the best. And to go with what you're saying, this doesn't knock the educational system. It doesn't say that you don't need an education, you don't need to go to school, but we do know that in school for all that time, again, you've seen in the homeschool model, you've seen in the online model, you see it in the college model. There's a lot of ways to still get that information and excel as a student and still be able to put more time into a craft when you have this potential, this ability, and this drive and desire to play at these high levels, because you're talking about maximizing a talent that's been given to you, or a drive or determination to become a great college player, which then can lead to the next level. So, yeah, I think to your point, AAU is really just about games. We all know that. You have some practice so you can be organized, but you don't get to do it daily, day in and day out for a period of time. It's just quick sprints of practice, and then you're playing games. So to your point, the development and your vision was to create that model of high-level players practicing in high-level environments with high-level competition, high-level teaching, development, year-round, to a sense of that's going to put you at another level when it comes to college and comes to potentially, whether it's pro, overseas, whatever it may be, it puts you in a position to maximize what you've been given. That's kind of what I'm hearing.
That's what it's about. And like, I'm glad you said that, because people may try to twist the words and act like I'm saying school doesn't matter.
I already know.
Yeah. So in Europe, right, you're playing a sport more, it's more pro driven, right? I'm playing so I can be a pro, right? Here, you play more to get an education, a free education, or go to college. To me, most parents here in today's society, you're going to go to college whether you play a sport or not. Right. I'm pretty sure majority of these kids that are playing basketball, whether they played or not, their parents is putting them in college no matter what. You're going to college, right? Now, the basketball gives an opportunity for a scholarship and play for free, and there's all these different avenues that happen while playing basketball, right? But I think it's nothing wrong with a kid saying, I want to play in the NBA. And Twitter and the world will tell you, well, only X amount of people, make it, and this and that. Those numbers, you're right, it is a very small amount of guys that make it. But those percentages are based on everyone that picks up a basketball. Right. Those percentages aren't based on people that pick up the basketball and are running a marathon the right way. Right. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what the percentages are of the guys who are in the gym 4 to 5 hours with good coaches against real players every day. Let's see what that percentage looks like. You know what I'm saying? So I think,
even just to jump onto that real quick, even if the percentages are what they are, you can't predetermine and say, well, Kawhi Leonard's not going to make it, or Steph Curry's not going to make it, or Paul George isn't going to make it, or, you know what I mean? Like, obviously LeBron has outlier talent, so you can kind of see that, but the guys that you just never know, Steve Nash, you can't tell me that people thought he was going to make it. You know what I mean? Whoever the case may be, insert player's name here, you can't necessarily always see that early. So to tell them that you're not going to make it, it's almost better to do the opposite. Hey, let's do everything you can to make it and put you in a position that at least we can maximize your talent. So if you do have a chance, then now let's see where that lands us. And if it doesn't, obviously the fallback is a lot easier than just telling us somebody the whole time they're not going to make it. I think part of the problem, and tell me what you think it is the balance of you're going to be a pro, you're going to be a pro, you're going to be a pro, that people can say, but they're not putting in the work. They're basing it on their talent and not their work with their talent. Tell me what you think about that.
Yeah, no, I agree. And it's like, all the habits that come into being the best player you can be. Right. And that work ethic are the same habits that go into the classroom. It goes into the work world. It goes into everywhere.
Being a pro in life. Being a pro.
Yeah, pro in life. Being the best father you can be.
Yep.
Being the best child of God you can be. Being the best, whatever that may be. All of those things translate. So when we teach our guys how to work and the habits, it's not about, hey, we're going to make 400 lift threes and 400 trail threes or whatever, 20 free throws, whatever it is. Right. Those habits translate to real life. So while we're pushing that in our culture and working, it's it translates to what's going to be ahead of you in real life and in the classroom and all of those things. So that's another piece that drives me to push our guys to be the best players they can be, because it's translate to other things. So it's like you said, like back to your question is like, talent is one thing, right? But if you don't work, talent's only going to get you so far. 100%. Right? Eventually, that fish tank is going to be all sharks. Right. You know what I'm saying? Early on, you're going to have a couple goldfish, have a couple sharks, eventually you're going to look around, there's going to be all sharks around you. Yep. So that talent only is going to get you so far. Yep. You know what I'm saying? But that work ethic and that drive is going to get you very far. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, no, it's huge.
What's the part so far, Julius? What's the part so far that you can walk away just today? It's not over. You're still trending. You're still climbing. Still so much to be done, but there's already so much that has been done too. And sometimes when you're so driven for the future and what's next, it's like, man, look at all that we've accomplished. What would you say as you take a pause and just think about what are some of the things that you are proud of today, right now, that has been accomplished at SoCal Academy?
Well, I'll say, well, first, for me individually within the program, I've got way better as a coach, and I'm
Yeah.
still getting better and continuing to grow. Um, I think as a program, I mean, obviously the numbers are the numbers, right? But I think behind the scenes,
What are some of the numbers, just so people that don't know? This is a
uh,
quick Jay-Z reminder, if you
yeah,
will.
crazy. So last year in the 22 class, we had 17 kids go Division 1,
Mm.
and there were another handful that went to other places outside of Division 1. The first year we started this, which was like during the Corona year, that was the 21 class. We had, I want to say 6 go D1. And then this year we have, I don't know, 11 or 12 guys already committed Division 1. We'll have another, I would imagine, 5 to 8 guys go by the time this season is over.
And in this particular class, of those 11, not that one makes it better than the other, but just for perspective, of the 11, there's a lot of them going to play at the highest level NCAA tournament programs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, we've got, I mean, if you look at, I mean, AJ Johnson's obviously one that sticks out to a lot of dudes, 5-star kid who's going to Texas. Garway Dual. Actually, the crazy thing what people don't know is Garway Dual played JV majority of the year last year.
Wow.
Now he's like, I don't know, top 50, top 75 in the country or something. And I think he will be an NBA guy, but he's going to go play for Ed Cooley, who was the national coach of the year last year at Providence. Yep. And then there's a kid we have, Drew Fielder, who's really, really good as well. Went from unranked when we first got him. Now he's a top 100 kid in the country. He's going to Providence as well. So those 3 guys are the guys who really, really stick out for us. And then Isaiah Miranda as well, who's at NC State. He's actually enrolled. He just enrolled at the semester. Who's another 5-star kid we have. But we've got a good amount of guys. There's a more high-level dudes in our program, but those are the guys that really stand out to the guys outside of our program, as far as guys who have, probably some of the bigger names. But we've got a lot of other dudes. But to your question, as a program, obviously being able to get, these amount of guys to go to college, but just really just being as prepared as possible going in. We use the word humility a ton, right? Like our coaches have to have humility. It starts with me. Our players have to have humility. The parents involved have to have humility. Everyone involved has to have humility. That's what drives everything, right? Like I can't get better as a coach if I don't have humility. Our players can't get better if they don't have humility. You know what I'm saying? If you can't take a guy telling you what you're doing wrong, that's a sign of immaturity and having no humility, and you're going to hit a wall. You can't get better. Ego stunts growth. You know what I'm saying? So I'd say as a program, getting those guys, right, I'm not going to say getting those guys to college because their game did that, but preparing them and providing a platform for them to showcase and have a chance to get to college, and preparing them for that and preparing them for real life. That's the biggest thing I can hang my hat on so far of what we've done. I think we've done a great job of that. You know what I mean? So, the wins and all that, like last year we finished top 10 in the country. This year, we're nationally ranked. But like all of that stuff is cool and I'm proud of it. But I think the bigger picture is the things, like I said, like the things that go into our culture that we talk about every single day.
Yeah. Yeah. What's the part? I mean, Jules, let's speak to the elephant in the room, right? There's some people that aren't happy that you guys are winning like you're winning, and that you're getting the players that you're getting, and they don't agree, and they don't think, or they may just judge from the outside. Let's call it what it is. What is the parts that you would want? And college coaches, let's call this what it is. College coaches want to know where are the best players and where are the guys that can come into our program and impact winning as soon as possible, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're coming into a place like yours that is an academy and seeing, okay, these guys have the talent. This is how they're working out. This is their culture. This is their ability. I like what I see. So there's a success. There's no, there's probably not near as much amongst college coaches, but there may be a perception amongst those that don't understand
Yeah.
what it is they're doing, don't understand the vision, aren't there, and maybe they're have their own opinions because of their own reasons, whether it's jealousy, whatever, don't want to see it happen that way. What is the parts about SoCal Academy and Jules V, both two part question, that you would want people to know that maybe they don't?
Well, it's funny you say that. All right. So, like, obviously, to the college coaches, they love this, right? This is a
Right,
candy for them, right? Our practices look like live periods.
right,
For there are a good amount of guys that love what we're doing, support what we're doing, believe in it. And then there's a decent amount of guys who don't like it, right? They, you know, for whatever reasons, right? Like some
right,
guys, people don't know me, right? So you
right,
may judge a guy by how he is, the faces he makes, or you know what I'm saying, how he walk,
right,
how he dress. Like, there's dudes. I mean, there's dudes in the business who are 20 years older than me that don't support what we're doing, that don't, you know. And my thing is, if I see guys move a certain way, and I see they're young or new in the game, I'm a mentor them. You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like, and
At
try
least
to,
offer, at least
yeah,
offer it.
like at least offer it, or something, And there's guys who just don't, for whatever reasons, right? But like, for the people that don't know me, like, I think at the end of the day, we're helping kids, right? Like, you can't deny that. Like, we're helping kids,
Yeah,
right?
and the
Like,
track record speaks.
the beef is not with me.
Right, right,
Real beef in real world is not with me. It's not with the basketball coach. And I
right,
think guys really, really look at that. The beef's not with me. Turn on your TV.
right.
You know what I mean? There's a
Look
lot
at your
more
feed.
going on.
Look at your
Yes,
feed. Turn on your TV. You know what I mean?
there's a lot more going on than the basketball coach helping kids. Um, and then you gotta just respect the grind and the hard work that goes into it. Like, we
Right,
really got it out the mud.
right,
And I would be lying to you if I told you it was all me, right? Like, I have mentors in this, right? Like, at the college level, I have mentors like at the grassroots level. I learned every day. I soak up game every single day, every day. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, guys have to respect it because it's really out the mud. Like, it
yeah,
was no real handout in this, right? Like, I
right,
gathered information, right? I seek for information, and we put it together. We put the
right,
project together. You know what I'm saying? And I literally hit my knees every single day. This is before the program, but rather the program is doing good or whatever it is, and thank God every day, right? I pray to God every single day, you know. So I think guys don't really, people who don't know me or not around the program or haven't been to a practice, they don't fully get it. They just see like maybe the Twitter and, hey, we had this kid commit, or we may
right,
tweet a big win for us. Like, we're gonna do that. We're in the
right,
gym 5 hours a day. We
right.
damn right we're gonna do that. You know what I'm
Celebrate
saying?
all these victories. Yep.
And yeah, I'm win or lose, I'm gonna walk around with my chest out and my chin up, and that's just what it is. But we're not gonna do it in a disrespectful way. And like I said, there's other people who do a good job, right? Like, there's other people who do a great job. You know what I'm saying? But I think at the end of the day, guys gotta really think logically and not emotionally.
Right.
And respect what we're doing. Like guys are getting better. Guys are going to college, right? There's a lot of time invested into this to make
Yep.
this thing. Guys, this isn't just a all talent thing. There's a lot that goes in. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I think when guys really look at it that way, can't do nothing but respect it.
No doubt.
You know
No
what I
doubt.
mean?
What about the basketball part? What would you want people to know about the culture of the basketball part? It sounds like the work is a big part of it that people probably underestimate. They just think like, oh, he's just go grabbing dudes and
Uh,
talented, right? So I guess just what's the part, and probably another part is not just the work, but also these guys aren't just going to Division Ones and falling on their face. Like
yeah.
these guys are figuring it out and being successful players and their success stories. So I guess without me speaking for you, what is the part from the basketball part you would want people to know? Like, yo, we out here, you know?
Yeah, I think just like you said, like the culture is. I spoke about humility. I spoke about work ethic. Like we don't just talk about it. Like it's every day. Like our days are structured to a T.
Yep.
Right? From guys getting up at 5:40 in the morning every day. They got to work out before school. After school, you go to. I mean, after your workout, you go to school. You don't
Right.
walk in the classroom like you just worked out.
Right. And like you
Classroom,
run the place, like, yo, I'm on
yeah,
the team, so just make
yeah.
it, you know what I mean?
No, our guys aren't allowed to have anything lower than A's and B's. We do grade checks every week. So there's a standard there, right? Your spirit got to be clean. Your work ethic got to be there's a lot to this. But again, if you don't have humility, none of this works. After class, you don't get to say, well, I had class, coach, and I had a workout in the before class. I don't know if I'm going to be able to bring it today. You got
Right.
to out. Then after that, you got to competitive practice. But that's really why college coaches recruit out of our program. The preparation here, they come here and they actually see what's going on
Right.
behind closed doors, right? That usually that first day when coaches can come out, our gym is packed. They're not obviously the talent is the talent, right?
Right.
But they're
Right.
not
Right.
leave their oohs and ahs because guys are jumping from the free throw line,
Right.
right? What we just played this weekend, AJ Johnson put on a show. AJ Johnson dove on the floor about 2-3 times a game.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
AJ Johnson make a mistake, coach. That's my fault. I'm gonna make up for it.
Right.
Drew Fielder catch a lob dunk, good pass. These guys are high fiving guys. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? So that's the piece that I think that the coaches love about our spot and that people don't really fully understand or get or know, right? And so the guys are when you recruit out of our program, you're getting a worker, you're getting a guy with humility.
Right.
You're not just getting talent,
Right.
you know. And so
And I
that's
think,
really what I want guys to know about the basketball piece.
yeah, I think to piggyback on that, so 15 years in the college game coaching myself, and I think it gets to a point where, as an assistant coach and as a head coach, but particularly as an assistant, you look to figure out what programs can we recruit year in and year out, where we know the ingredients of this program translates to our level, and guys will be prepared, whether they start, don't start, are ready right away day one. They're at least prepared for what this culture and the inside looks like because they've seen something similar where they come from. It's not going to be a shock to them. It's not going to be a shock for them to compete, to be on time, to be accountable, to not make excuses, to do things that translate to winning. And I think also the part for your spot that's unique in a lot of ways is that there's so many good players that guys have to understand you don't have an option to come to practice and work today. Because if you don't, this guy's going to outwork you. He wants the same thing you want. And you're going to expose yourself that you're not really who you say you are when it comes to where you want to go. So I think there's a direct peer pressure in a positive way in an environment like that when it's
Yeah.
made to be competitive and not made to be enabling. Your environment and your nature, and I don't know, I'm going to ask you this too, where does that come from that you understand what translates, and there's a part of this that I don't know. I haven't seen a practice. I've seen your team play in the JUCO Jamboree. Matter of fact, at Brandon Goble's event,
Mm-hmm.
I've seen that particular team, not at full strength, but I saw that team play, and I've followed a lot from afar. But there's a personality part about you that is not afraid to attack the things that maybe a higher level player may get passes on a lot of
Mm-hmm.
places. Like it
Yeah.
feels like players don't get passes there, and you almost embrace like, yo, we're gonna attack these things and not just let it go unseen. You're gonna know exactly where you stand. Talk
Yeah.
about that part about it because I think that part is the part that college coaches, when a guy gets to campus and he's never seen that, is like it's a shock to them. And sometimes dudes don't always recover or they don't respond and they want to
Mhm.
hit the portal. So, and there's nothing wrong with the portal, but there's something to be said about a kid that's already been coached hard, challenged hard, accepted the truth of where he's at, and pushed through that.
Yeah, I think so. When you look at, right, we guys talk about the portal and all this, guys going in the portal. I think a lot of times guys are not prepared to go to work every day.
Right.
Right? You go to college, the worst player on your team is a Division I player.
No doubt.
The worst player on the worst Division I team is a Division I player.
Yep.
So when you're day to day, it's just human nature, right? Guys don't bring it every day unless they got to, right?
Right.
That's human nature. That's just what it is. If your job's not on the line, bringing it 247 is not real,
No doubt.
right? So when you get to college, you like, man, I got to box out every possession.
Right.
Wait, coach said sprint to the corner. I jog to the corner, but the guy behind me that maybe not as talented, but talented enough to help us win games is sprinting to the corner. My job is on the line.
Right.
And at the college level, the ads don't. Most of these guys, they don't know what's going on. They don't understand running a basketball program, right? So these college coaches got pressure to win. Their jobs on the line. Guys are getting fired left and right that do great jobs, that do good jobs, right?
Yep.
The pressure for them, they're coming up with a method that's going to help them win. Rather that be a good method or not, they think that method is going to help them win. And
Right.
they're going to make sure that these 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23-year-olds or whatever are going to follow that method to
Right.
increase their to help them win, which helps them keep their job.
Yep.
College coaches are humans. This is a job. They're not playing. This is a job.
Right.
So at our deal, we have that same environment. You don't have wiggle room here. You don't have no leverage here.
Right.
I just brought up four names that are some of the bigger names. We got other. Jocelyn Felton is one of the best scorers in 24.
Right.
Top 100 kid in the country.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If let's say Jocelyn don't bring it, DeMarco Johnson's top 100 2025 kid, high major guard.
Yep.
He's gonna bring it. So like, and same for those guys. AJ don't bring it. Jocelyn right here.
Right.
You know, so creating that environment, guys understand a lot of people try to run game. A lot of people try to fake confuse like they don't know what's going on. When your job is on the line, you know what's going on.
No doubt. It's real clear.
Yeah, it's very clear. So we are creating habits on and preparing guys for when you get to college, your job's on the line. Now, if you end up going to a school and maybe you just weren't talented enough, or maybe the coach thought you fit the style of play and you don't, that's a different thing. But you're not going to get outworked and punked for your position and your job.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That's a different thing. That kind of stuff happens. Bad evaluation, right? Maybe not the right fit. Maybe the roster you thought was going to be different. So guys end up having to hit a portal. That's different. That's going to happen.
Yeah, no doubt.
But it's not going to, you're not going to leave a spot coming from here where, hey, man, the guy just didn't want to work. You know, he just didn't bring it. Every day we have 4 high major bigs just on our high school team, right? Every day. Drew Fielder got a box out every day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Devin Curtis got a box out every day. So I think that's very intriguing for coaches, right? To come here and see that where they're used to that level of having to come to work every day.
Right.
And that's the part I'm talking about. Like you go to a regular high school, coach could be great. There's high level dudes at regular high school coaches,
Right.
right? But it's human nature. You could be the hardest working kid. If you're practicing against little Johnny who's 6'2" playing the five, you're not bringing it every day, man. Let's just be real. You're
Not
not.
not at your best level. You almost
Yeah,
can't tap
you're
into
not.
that every day.
You're not. So that's the thing here where, and when we recruit guys, we keep it all the way 100 with them. We tell them
Right.
this is what it is.
Right.
This is about getting your name called on draft night.
Let's talk about that real quick. So you don't have just NBA guys, but you have a ton of guys that can play at the college level. You talked about this. It's about being putting yourself in a position where you can excel in college, and then that puts you in a position where you can, and maybe you can excel past that, and you can skip a step and go straight to the league. So be it. Talk about what do you look for, and what does your program look for when you're identifying guys to play and represent that SCA across their chest. What does that look like? And then the teams, are you just post grad? Clarification. Is it just high school? Do you have both? Do you have multiple high school teams? How does it work when you say 17 guys went Division One in 2022 and several others went to play in college? For those outside of it, what does that look like, and what do you look for in recruits to come there?
Yeah. So first we have 2 post grad teams, 2 high school teams, right? At a first team, a second team on at both levels. So 4 teams total. Then we have middle school. Now there's guys where we do it like Europe, right? That play both, right? Depending on their development, where it makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah,
We
yeah.
play guys, up and down, right?
Yep.
But as
So
far as
G League is almost like Wiseman's on the Warriors. He went to the G League, came
yes,
back, right?
exactly. But again, you gotta have guys who have humility to be down with that.
Right.
Do I want to look cool and be in the dunk show layup lines with the first team?
Right.
Right there. Do I have enough humility to go play with the second team and get better? And you know what I'm saying? Do I have that humility in front of my buddies or whatever?
Right. Right.
Right. But so when we recruit, again, we're honest. Hey, you're a 5-star kid. How will you feel if I say, hey, today you're not going to start? And I don't need to explain why. Can you be happy for the guy that's playing in front of you?
Right.
And if it is me explaining why, is it a reason you're asking why because you want to get better? Or are you asking why because of your ego? Like, how am I not starting? I'm tough.
Right.
Right. Do you have enough humility for that?
Right.
Right. We played recently, our last 3 games, right? 2 of those 3 games, we switched the lineups. We started 3 bigs. Do I have to ask why?
Right.
I mean, do I have to answer why? Like, do I have to have a presentation for your parents on why? You know what I mean?
Yep.
You can hear me?
Yeah. Yeah. You still there?
So, like, those guys understood this is what it is today. But when your name's called, I'm gonna come bring it. Like, so I asked those questions, like, are you cool with that? A lot of guys say, oh, yeah, I give them our workout schedule. Oh, I do that anyway. I wake up in the mornings.
Yeah.
Do it on your terms.
uh,
I believe you set your alarm every day, but I believe there's days where you turn that alarm off and you go back to sleep. You do them on your terms. Everybody say, oh, I do the extra work. No. You do them on your terms. What about the days you don't feel like doing it?
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, how are you going to respond? So we ask all of those questions. What are you going to do if we say, hey, we got 3 high major bigs on our team, right? And we got 1 sleeper mid-major kid. He's unranked and he's got 5 offensive rebounds game 3.
Right.
And you 3 combined for 5 offensive rebounds total. Game 4, if I start him, how are you going to respond?
Right.
After game 4, that next day in practice, what is going to be your answer? Is it going to be you're trying to set up meetings with me? Are your parents going to be calling me? Is your trainer or whoever handler going to be calling me? Or you're going to say, I got to turn it up and get better that next day in practice? What are you going to do? Are you going to be happy for that dude when, hey, I had 20 points game 1 and 2, and game 3 I got 3. But the dude who didn't play game 1 and 2 got 30. Am I gonna high five him and be happy for him? Or am I gonna be a hater and be sensitive? We ask all of these questions when we recruit guys.
Right.
All of them. And of course, most kids are gonna say the political correct answers,
For
right?
sure. For sure.
But most of those kids that we're recruiting are getting recruited by other prep schools, and they're gonna typically go to the guys that are lying to them, right? Or the guys that maybe aren't lying. They just care about names and they're gonna play you and you run the show and you get to punk the coach and do whatever you want.
Right. And maybe it's they say yes to you, but they say yes to them too. Hey, we're gonna give you all the minutes, we're gonna give you a
Yeah.
shot now. That sounds great. I want that. You know what I mean?
But and when guys are here, right? Like this isn't like we're not like tough guys, like this is how we're gonna do it. And then like I love all our guys. Like today we had a day off. I've probably talked to out of the whatever 14 guys on our roster, I probably talked to 7 or 8 of them today. And I just seen them less than 24 hours ago. You know what I'm saying? So like I have real relationships with our guys. Right? We have a kid right now who's not shooting to the level he can shoot at. Tomorrow we're in the gym. Like it's so I have real relationships with these guys where they know I care.
Right.
It's not just a boss thing, like this is how we're gonna do it. And
right.
I have real relationships with them. And I talk to our guys, right? There's times where kid may, hey, can I talk to you? Hey, I think, we ran this. Should we? And I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? But like the part I'm not cool with is like the ones that try to run the game and try to punk you and like act like they don't know why they're not playing or act like you never said X, Y, and Z or try to twist your words or blame this person. It's because we're running this and because I'm used to playing this. That I know all the tricks. You know what I'm saying? I see right through them all.
Right.
So, but yeah.
Where is the so the basketball background for you? Where does the love, the passion come from? Where does the roots in your basketball philosophy come from? I know you study it, that's evident, but where does the roots of your passion to want to do this? I know the soccer part, you said that.
Yeah.
But the basketball part, you have a love for basketball if you're doing the coaching, the growing, the investing in guys, the putting this whole organization together, the continuing to build it, the recruit more guys. Like you can't run off of just some type of status thing, and it's obvious that that's not the passion, that's not the why. So what is the why, and where does the basketball roots and the foundation and the philosophy come from for you?
That's a good question. Man, I like helping people. I think like impacting people.
Yep.
I think that's a huge part of it because I didn't grow up with the best resources or, you know what I'm saying? So, I really literally got it out the mud, So I think that piece and then being able to impact lives through basketball, right? Like, and I don't think I'm just obsessed with basketball. Like I'm obsessed to get better at it, right? Like a lot of times I don't even watch basketball as a fan, really.
Right.
Like, well, I of course I do, right? But a lot of times, like I watch soccer as a fan. I get up, set my alarm in the morning, watch World Cup, a fan.
Right.
A lot of times, like I'll get Wi-Fi on a plane, and I'll be looking at different offenses or whatever basketball stuff on YouTube, and I'll look to my right and my assistant to be doing the same thing. Like I think it's about being a fanatic of getting better too.
Right.
Right.
Kobe would call that an obsessive.
Yes. So it's all of those things together.
What is the where does the roots for basketball come from you? Is it playing, growing up playing? Is it just absolutely a love? Obviously, there's a human development part you thrive and you're very attracted and drawn to too, because I think from what I know from my time as a college coach and watching from afar, it felt like the development part was a big part of maybe not how you started, but how I was introduced to you as somebody in the game who love to develop players, who love to put time in and challenge them and help teach them and help transform them into a better version of themselves. It seems like that was obvious to me. I could feel that energy. And so now you're not only doing that, but you're also coaching and you have this academy and you're almost the CEO, if you will, or the general manager of it all and doing that. So where does the basketball love come from? Is it just one day you fell in love with it and you grew up playing, or what does that part come from? Because I have no idea what that part looks like for you, but it's
Yeah.
obvious that it started somewhere and it's taken off.
Yeah, I mean, I played, so I loved it as a player.
Yep.
And then, from there, I kind of just, I mean, it was my favorite sport to play. You know what I'm saying? So, and I felt like I had a good enough knowledge and foundation of the game to be able to actually become a better coach and coach it.
Right.
Right. Go back to soccer. Like, I'm a fan. Didn't play it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So there is no foundation or starting point where I think, yeah, I can get on YouTube and learn whatever, right?
Right.
And know I can know enough basic to maybe coach at a lower level.
Right.
But basketball, I felt like I had it. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
and then I played,
Right.
so um but yeah, I'd say, yeah. I mean, I developed a love for the game, as a kid playing.
Right. What's the part you're excited about that's next for SoCal, for yourself? A lot of people would see someone like yourself who's young, who's doing these things that are not uh, again of the norm, especially not even in that state. Prep school feels like it's way everywhere west of where you are, except for California, or excuse me, east of where you are, except for California. And this prep school thing being in California thing now. What is the next aspiration for yourself, for the program? Because most people would assume, well, this guy's going to be on a high major bench one day, coaching at the college level, or maybe he wants to coach in college, or maybe he doesn't. Maybe he wants to be an NBA, or maybe he just wants to do this forever. And I'm just curious. Maybe I'm getting a little bit too far ahead,
Yeah.
but what's the aspiration of next for the program and for yourself?
Mhm. Um, what's crazy is like, at first it was like, man, I want to coach in college.
Right.
And I had several opportunities to do that, in the
Right.
last couple of years. And I that's still a goal of mine.
Yep.
But leading up until today, like right now, I feel like I still have a lot more work to do with this.
Yep.
Right. And it's hard for me to say, hey, this is the goal, right? Like, hey, I want to send 30 kids Division 1 by this year. And
Right. Right.
because there's no ceiling here. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You could have a successful year and have 9 guys go Division 1. It doesn't have to be 17 every year. We could have 30 1 year and 40 the next year. But I
Right.
want to continue to build this healthy brand and continue to do that. But there is a lot of different boxes I definitely want to check, right?
Right. Right.
College coaching, NBA level, there's a lot of different things, right?
Right.
But today I want to continue to build this thing. And who knows, a year from today, 2 years from today, 7 months from today, I may be offered a job and say, hey, this time I'm going to take it.
Right.
You know, it's hard for me. I don't think there's one goal.
Right. For
You know what
sure.
I mean?
No
A
doubt.
lot of different boxes that I want to check,
Yep.
and I don't mean that in an arrogant way. I
No,
just think
I don't think it's
there's
even that. I think when you look at anybody uh, who's accomplished and has a drive and a vision, it seems to me you're very visionary. So if you have a vision, it's hard to just say, well, once I do this, then it feels like I'm done. It's like, nah, I'm gonna go
yeah,
do other things. I use Kobe Bryant as a big example. He wanted to be one of the greatest players ever. When he was done, he moved on to all kinds of things way outside the box that no one ever knew or thought he would do. And we saw
mm-hmm.
a whole different side of him that's like, wait a minute, Kobe's out here doing this and he's writing children's books and he's winning awards for this. And so Yeah, I think there's no limit. Like God didn't make us to just be these like, oh, I'm only gonna do this. I was
Yeah,
curious. I wanted to hear more of that, and then for the program, I'm imagining there's a vision for it to just continue to be that academy, that soccer style kind of model
yeah,
that continues to be a blessing to so many players and families and programs going forward. I'm assuming.
yeah. I mean, yeah, we want to continue to grow. The bar is set extremely high, right? And I think again, the standard became so high early because
Yeah.
of how fast we're growing.
Yeah.
But I think this it's hard to give the standard a number. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As far as like how many guys go to college and how many wins we have and where we're ranked and all that. But I think continue to just keeping this thing going and building and blowing up and blowing up and giving guys opportunity from our coaches to our players and the
Yep.
brand just bigger and people getting more familiar with it. I think there's so much we can do with this, right?
Yep. For sure.
Right. You know, building another academy in another state. You know what I'm saying? Like our
Yep.
brother team or whatever, or building something in another country or creating something where, you know, we go play in Europe every year and do something. I don't know. There's so much that can come out.
Right.
That's why I mean, like, I think that there's a lot of value in this. And that's why I said, like, I don't mean in an arrogant way. Like, I think there's a lot of value that there's other things that I can do. I think there's other things our program can do, and we haven't got there yet.
Right.
I
Right.
think
Still early stages.
I
Yeah.
think our program's doing a good job, but there's other things that can come out of this. And I literally mean there's no ceiling to this. Like
Right.
there's tennis, football, soccer. We may, you know, there's so many things that
Right.
we can do, and we're not there yet. You
Well,
know, and
I think some of it even speaks to even for yourself as had this vision to create this, that you've already surpassed probably what you thought, like you said earlier in the interview, where you'd be right now. So it's hard to even look forward because you're like, well, I didn't know we would be here at this point. I knew eventually we would be, and that was the goal, and that was what we're working towards. But you almost want to give it its own organic opportunity to not limit it either. You just want to keep going forward and investing in it. So I love that part of it. What would you like to see in the game? And I appreciate those may have mixed feelings. Everyone uses social media in their own different ways. But I think there's a lot of truth and good, and whether it's tough love, whether it's real talk, whatever people want to put in their category, whether it's just people may look at it as how they look at it. But what would you like to see more of in our game to maybe make it better from a universal basketball standpoint? Like, as somebody who's at the grassroots level, who's rolling up his sleeves, who's invested in getting better and studying the game in the ways that you are, invested with young people, talking to college coaches on the grassroots scene, developing players every day in this scene. What would you like if you just say, man, I wish we could just maybe get to this point, whether it's from a player standpoint, a parent standpoint, a
mhm.
coach, a collection, whatever it may be. If you had to pick maybe one or two, or maybe just one hard one, whatever speaks to your heart. But what would you say is one or two things that you just love to see? Like, man, I'm excited for the day that as a culture of basketball, we get to this.
Yeah, I don't. You know, I think a lot of people just pigeonhole it to just basketball. It's just our society and culture today. This is
Go,
what it is.
let's
But
go.
like,
Go.
not just the basketball thing, right? I think
Yeah.
they go probably in baseball, volleyball, other sports. But I think our society, meaning here in America where I live,
Yep.
I think where we can start off is just being honest with the players. We're not honest. And there's
Mhm.
nothing wrong with telling a guy, hey, because I hate when people like people don't like kids posting offers. Why would you not like a kid working out every day, working his butt off and posting an offer? Whether it's real or fake, whatever it is, like if I get an A on my test and I put the test hanging on my refrigerator with a magnet on it, there's nothing wrong with
Right.
that.
Right.
We're not. I think we're not honest. Like guys think like because I'm top 5 in the country, I don't have to say please and thank you.
Let's go.
5 in the country, I don't live by the same rules as you.
Let's
Because
go.
I'm top 5 in the country, I don't gotta sprint to that corner. Or the parents, it's even that's the sickest part,
Right.
right? You have people that have lived on this earth 30, 40, 50 years, have went through so many life lessons to get to the point they're at.
Right.
And they flush it all down the toilet when it comes to their kid because their kid is good at basketball.
Mm.
Crazy.
Mm.
You know, like those kind of things. We don't. So I think just teaching our kids, like, and being honest with them, like telling them the truth. Just because you're top 5 in the country, you ain't made it yet. And
Right.
even if you make it, you still have to have this type of character.
Yep.
Like, that's okay. Like
Yep.
I work with Terrence Mann, right? Phenomenal human being. As good as we think he is as basketball, he's a better human.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But his mom coached, or his
Yep.
mom's a person. Like, it's just so just giving. We need to be honest with our guys. Like, be honest with the kids. But a lot of times we're not being honest as coaches because we want to be friends with the kids because we want to make sure when he get in that green room, we right there.
Yep.
We want to make sure that we don't want to lose the kid
Yep.
because everybody. If I told you a kid on my team, 5-star kid or 4-star kid on my team was a jerk or a bad teammate or he stole or he did this, he did
Right.
that, 99% of the other teams are going to take that kid no matter what, which is okay if you're saying, I'm going to take this kid and
And
I'm going to
help.
see if and help him. I'm going to see if I
Yep.
could impact him and help him. Maybe I may be the answer to help this kid as a person. But no,
Right.
you guys going to take them to help them win games.
Right.
So and then that kid's going to do that in real life. And
Yep.
then when that kid didn't make it, when little bro don't make it, big
Right.
bro gone.
He ain't little bro no more. He's just
He's
somebody.
gone. He's
Right.
gone. Same with the parents fall right on their face. All that arrogant and because my kid is X, Y, and Z. If that kid don't make it, you sitting there scratching your head. You know what I'm saying? Like we gotta be honest with our guys. I tell guys all the time, McDonald All Americans don't eat McDonald's for free. They gotta sit in the line with everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
That 99 cents fries, they gotta pay for it just like everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to be honest with our guys. It's nothing wrong with patting kids on the back or patting a player on the back and telling them you're doing a great job. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
I don't like. I think some people go like a little too far over into the extreme. Like, why do guys post offers? Why is this? But it's okay to be happy to be ranked top 25. That's an accomplishment.
No
We didn't.
question.
That's a milestone.
No question.
You know what I'm saying? That's an accomplishment. It's
No.
okay to post your offers. It's okay to walk in the gym and know you a dude. I'm the best guard in the country. That's okay.
Right.
But there's a other piece to it, which is real life. And I think if we did a better job of teaching that, the game of basketball would be better, right? And again, this is a problem everywhere else, but we're talking about basketball. The game of basketball would be better. Now I have enough humility to throw that extra pass.
Right.
Right now, I'm not taking this low percentage shot because I think that if I don't score, I'm less of. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it affects everything. Now, our team defense is better because I'm more bought into the coach. I have enough humility to listen to the coach and be coachable. So now
Right.
our defense looks different. Our offense looks different. So I think the real life piece that we fail to give our guys affect our game.
Mm.
It affects our game. The same people don't understand the same way you live life is the same way you are supposed to be in basketball.
Show up on the court.
That's I'd say with the parents, it's crazy. Like all them life lessons they get and where they get to the point in their life to be successful and raise these kids because of the good things
Right.
they do. When it comes to basketball, we just throw it out the window.
Right. Right.
It's crazy, which I kind of understand because there's a lot of hype in it. You love your kid. It's
Right.
hard to think logically when you're emotionally invested. It's
Right.
hard. I
Right.
get it. I give parents the benefit of the doubt. I get it. Like, you're emotional right now. You can't think properly.
Well, and
You're
sometimes you don't want to see your kids struggle, and you almost forget how much that struggle molded you. So you want to
yes.
save them from the struggle, and in turn, you're skipping an important part of their character
Hmm.
development. Right,
Yeah.
wrong, or indifferent. Your character development is going to be developed when things are hard, when things are adverse, when you hit the rock bottom, and almost parents want to try to skip that step and say, "Well, I'm going to parent my kid so good." He's not going to have to experience that, but you can't save
Mhm.
him from that.
You
It's
can't.
really helping them. How do they handle those situations?
So again, I get it. Like, right from the from the outside looking, it's easy to talk like this, right?
Right,
You know, and like, I have a daughter. She's 9. She plays tennis. We haven't got to that point yet, right? But I understand when you love your kid and you're invested in your kid, you want the best for your kid.
right,
You know, and I get it. But we got to just do a better job, especially with how old some of us are. We got to be better. You know what I'm
right.
saying? I think that's the biggest thing.
Good. That's good. So we got a quick lightning round. I'm gonna ask you a couple random questions. You just give a literally a one word answer as best you can do, one word or one choice to start it off. So we started off with some fun. Um, are you going cereal or are you going omelet? What you going with?
That's funny. I had an yesterday. I'm gonna go cereal though,
Okay, okay, I like that. Um are you going MJ or LeBron?
Bron.
Okay. Are you going Kobe or Shaq?
Kobe.
Okay. Are you going with let's see, California or everybody else?
California.
I kind of set that one up easy, right? You better say that. If you had to describe your culture at SoCal in one word, what would it be? There's not one word, but if there was one that stands out to you, what would it be?
Humility.
Love it. When you develop players, what's one word that you really want to instill in them?
Humility.
Love it. Your team, when you're going to win, you're giving a pregame speech. What's the part that you feel like if you were to say one word, we got to show up as this? What does that look like?
Dogs.
Perfect. When guys go to college and they make that decision and they're about to head to school and it's like they're about to start and you could give them one word with them as they go, other than humility, what would you give them?
Mm, coachable.
It's good. And then I would say for yourself in this whole journey that we're all on to grow, get better, impact, what would you look back and be like when people talk about legacy? I'll give you two words on this one. What would you want people to say about you and the work that you did? Two words.
Well, about me, great person. That's what I strive to be. About the work that I did, that's a
Yeah.
different two words.
Yeah.
He won.
Yep. Good. And then what about the part about Jules V? You talked about being a father that people don't know that you'd want to share like an insight to. I am these three things. I love, or however you want to word it, but you just kind of go on like a one sentence phrase, three different sentences.
I love everybody. That
It's good. I love it. All right. So we always end with a funny story. So you got to tell us at least one funny story, either fatherhood, coaching, in the gym, somebody recruiting one of your players, like, yo, this guy did this. I won't say his name. Any funny story you got? and we'll end you with that.
I wish you would have prepped me on this one.
I know I should have. That's my fault.
That would have a funny story.
Sometimes it's better when it's a little more organic. It can be a cool story too. We'll allow that. Cool story or funny story.
I'm stopping this one. I'm trying to think. Of just recent stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure there's every day where either somebody forgot some shorts and then they had to play in pants that day.
I have one. The year we won Bigfoot. So at first I was with
this is SoCal or this is summer?
This California Stars AAU. I used to be with a shoe circuit team, right? Yep. I switched over right at
California Stars, for those that don't know, is your organization, correct?
Yeah. I switched over to California Stars, started California Stars AAU team, right? Our whole thing was the first year we did it, because I needed quick turnaround on jerseys. So we just did practice jerseys. Yeah. No, the first year we did random jerseys. Some dudes had on camp jerseys. Somebody had on ball league, high school.
Dark and light. Yo, just bring it dark and light. You know what I mean?
Mismatched shorts.
Right.
It was grimy though, right? That year we beat probably about 9 shoe circuit teams, right? Mm. This was before how they would do the live period and isolate everybody. Back then it was shoe circuit, but there was live periods where you could play against other circuits. Right. So we're independent, right? We were just grimy. So from then on, I said, we're going to stick to mismatched shorts, right? We had that following year, which was our second year, we won Bigfoot, right? I'll never forget we played. And so that year I had practice uniforms.
Right.
I actually made practice uniforms.
Reversible joints.
Yep. And put our logo on the front. Just reversible, but mismatched shorts though. You still have to keep it gutter just to keep that grimy ness about it, right?
Yeah.
We went and won Bigfoot. I'll never forget. We beat Mac Irvin Fire in the finals, right? And they were really good that year, their EYBL team. And the MVP of the team was Jordan Brinson. Okay. He had on, I don't know I think he had on Hollister sweats and cut them into shorts. You can look at the pictures and cut them into shorts. He had about 20 that game and was MVP of the whole tournament. We won the whole thing. Everybody, the other teams, they had backpacks, badges hanging off the bag, stamps in their passport, nice socks. MVP had on Hollister. I think they were sweats. He cut them into shorts. That was our MVP. So he didn't forget his uniform. We didn't have a uniform. Right. It was just grimy and gutter.
Love it.
That's probably one of the most memorable / funny stories since I've been doing this.
I love it. I'm sure you're taking a picture. Somebody's like, yo, did he forget his short? Well, he's MVP. Who cares? Oh, man. We appreciate you taking the time today, man. This was big time. Something on my heart was like, man, I feel like there's a lot more to this individual than people know and that the eye can see and that, deserves to be told. So I appreciate you opening up and sharing with us today. And this ain't the last time. At some point in time, we'll be running it back again and referring to this one like, hey, remember when we talked about this? Mm-hmm. Look at now. So, just let you have any last words before you go. Happy holidays to you and your family and safe travels to the team. And look forward to continuing to follow. But let you have any last words you want to say.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. I appreciate you, bro. Ton.
Yep, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Well, be safe. And, any holiday traditions you got over there? Any holiday plans you got? What you got over there, man?
I just watched my daughter open gifts, man.
That's a beautiful thing. Well, enjoy it. Thanks so much, and we'll see you next time.